Well, I think I need my little warm up here, so I'm going to do this. Alrighty. Okay, well, as I was telling Glenda, I did not write a new one this week, so I'm just going to read some old ones of mine. And then read some Glenda's. Somebody commented on this poem to me the other day, so maybe I'll read it. It's about my brother Charles. Writing a line of poetry, I become my brother sketching. 7 years older than me, he wanted to be called Charles. I called him Charlie. A child of the 60s, he painted fantasy scenes in tones of rainbow. Later in life, marginalized by a lack of money and stubborn idealism, he still painted happy hippies dancing around the tree of life. In my youth, when we all feel special and limitless, I thought myself so different than him. But when we got older, and I needed to rescue him from the pitiless world, I saw our parents in each of us, and there was that creative eye. And in some larger way, I saw the world had molded us into the same scared, scarred person. Yet even when life must have seemed dark in his inner eye, his inner eye always saw a glow penetrating. Sometimes when I too feel helpless in the cold facts of life, I've learned also to see the brightness shining around all of us. As I become my brother sketching, I feel him dropping into that space, the space where the unclouded heart sees the light around each body.
Hmm.
Oh, here's another one, kind of in the same vein. The hibiscus. The hibiscus was lush and beautiful in the nursery, fresh from a hothouse that mimicked its native clime. But when I planted it in the hard clay of my yard, and instead of tropical heat, it had to endure cold fog, it began to not look so good. Its leaves became stunted. Sometimes it was just bare stalks. Several times I decided to pull it out to end its misery. Then all of a sudden, it would produce many majestic magenta flowers. When I look at so many of my friends and my tribe, I see unhappy, uneasy faces, as if they were set down on a hostile planet. Yet I know for them and me, inside a perfect flower is growing.
Hmm. Nice.
I like that one, yeah. Oh, this is a book I actually put some little photos in.
Mhm.
I've never done it on other poems. This is a little one called The Old Boat. Body returns to earth. That which lived there continues floating on the timeless seas. Oh, it's funny to see these old poems. This is the book. I wrote during COVID. I can remember. This is called The Little Farm. The main parking lot is closed ever since the COVID virus. but we're allowed to walk past the science center, now closed now. Further on is a little farm. In normal times, there are cries of chickens and geese. There are cows, a pig or two, sheep, children laughing, feeding cows, lettuce and celery. In a long building, I remember all kinds of rabbits. Now it's all closed off by yellow tape. Someone has removed all the animals, all except 4 cows. They stand stoically in their paddock. A weather vane still turns. It needs oil. It turns this way and that. No one there to see the direction of wind. 4 wild hen turkeys saunter up the path. A 5th one is calling from the forest. They move toward her. I follow them into the forest. I'd like to get away from the solemn cows, the mournful squeaking weather vane. There's a trail through the eucalyptus. Clouds cover the sun, a cold wind begins. The shaggy bark blows wildly. Some branches make a cracking noise. They have been called widowmakers.
Mm-hmm.
I return to the farm. I want to get out of here, but I see a sign. It says lake, 0.2 miles. I know the lake well. In spring there are ducks and egrets, turtles lined up on a fallen log. I was there a few weeks ago, but all the water was gone. The lake bottom looked like an old person's face. No relief there, I think. Yet I find myself walking there, driven along by the wild wind, perhaps. And there's no danger here in the wide road. Getting nearer, I can hear water spilling over the dam. I don't understand. Yet when I arrive, the lake is full. How could it be? There has been no rain. It's a nice mystery. I sit on a bench and breathe in the scene. Walking back, the eucalyptus are still touching each other noisily. But the sun is out, and to me the trees are singing happily. Passing the farm, even the cows are mooing. I'm happy. From the mud comes the lotus. Alrighty. Well, let's read your poem. Glenda, let's see. I got so distracted this week, I'm not sure I read your poem all the way, Glenda, so this will be new for me. Dance with me. Dance with me in the rain. Let the teardrops fall across your face. Sleepy Sundays spent drenched in that mist. Emotions left behind, just an echo of a scent. Watch the rocks splash in a sea of chaos. Fall afternoons of flaming leaves. The realities of the day, the emotions of the night, are different movements of the same symphony. Oh, I like that. Empty your mind for a sweet caress. Feel the mist settle on your lashes and laugh. Run across a puddle of rainbow hue to a house of books and unintended pillows. Dance with me in the rain, in the summer with 2 Julys. Love me more than 1,000 Septembers. Touch my hand and twirl neath the clouds. The sun is just sleeping while the clouds have their way. But its heat hasn't left, but rather it waits to stir the darkness like a chocolate sauce. Wrap us in windswept circles of dew. Your smile is my rainbow to shine in my heart. Your touch is my raindrop to nudge at my soul. Always a summer to usher back memories of when you danced with me in the rain. Lovely.
My favorite poem I ever wrote.
That is gorgeous. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Huh. It's nice to have a little touch of summer from your poem in our winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, some lovely lines in there. But what's an unintended pillow, though?
Well, it would be like you might sit on something that you didn't expect to be soft. Like maybe you were going to sit on the couch, but it really turned into something softer, like a pillow.
Uh,
Or
okay.
or you sit on the ground and there's a pillow next to you and you lean against it. It's just like it's something you have to think in your mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Lovely.
Like I didn't intend that this to be a pillow, but it turned out to be a pillow because I'm sitting, on it.
Okay. There's something about your poems. They're always very nice to read. I've noticed that before. Just they flow off the tongue nice. And
Thank you.
Brenda is saying, nice one, Glenda.
Thank you, Brenda.
All righty. That was lovely. That was nice. Well, let's see. There's time for a few other poems here. Here's one by Raymond Carver. That always sounds like like that guy that writes mysteries, but I guess he's a poet instead. A cobweb. A few minutes ago, I stepped onto the deck of the house. From there, I could see and hear the water and everything that's happening to me all these years. It was hot and still. The tide was out. No birds sang. As I leaned against the railing, a cobweb touched my forehead. It caught in my hair. No one can blame me that I turned and went inside. There was no wind. The sea was dead calm. I hung the cobweb from the lampshade where I watch it shudder now and then when my breath touches it. A fine thread, intricate. Before long, before anyone realizes, I'll be gone from here. Oh, a little turn in that poem. Here's the Denise Levertov eye mask. In this dark I rest, unready for the light which dawns day after day, eager to be shared. Black silk, shelter me. I need more of the night before I open eyes and heart to illumination. I must still grow in the dark like a root, not ready at all. Yes, what else is we got here? Here's one by some old Chinese feller, Po Chui. Climbing the Ling Ying Terrace and looking north. Mounting on high, I begin to realize the smallness of man's domain. Gazing into the distance, I begin to know the vanity of the carnal world. I turn my head and hurry home, back to the court and market. A single grain of rice falling in the great barn. Well, this is by an Eskimo poet. All right. Magic words. In the very earliest time, when both people and animals lived on Earth, a person could become an animal if he wanted to, and an animal could become a human being. Sometimes they were people and sometimes animals, and there was no difference. All spoke the same language. That was the time when the words were like magic. The human mind had mysterious powers. A word spoken by chance might have strange consequences. It would suddenly come alive, and what people wanted to happen could happen. All you had to do was say it. Nobody could explain this. That's the way it was. There's an old poem by some Jewish feller, Nachman of Bratslav, from the Torah of the Void. God, for mercy's sake, created the world to reveal mercy. If there was no world, on whom would mercy take pity? So, to show his mercy, he created the worlds from the Azlus peak to the earth's center. But as he wished to create, there was not aware. All was infinitely he. Be he blessed. The light he condensed sideways. Thus a space made, an empty void. In space days and measures came into being. So the world was created. This void was needed for the world's sake, so that it may be put into place. Don't strain to understand this void. It is a mystery not to be realized until the future is the now. Once there was light, much and powerful holy light, and it was in vessels, too much light, too much power, and the vessels burst. When the vessels burst, the fragments of holiness took form, becoming the outer sciences. So even of holiness there is offal. Well, that's crap, isn't it? Offal.
Yeah, that's what
just,
it is.
just as there is sweat and hair and excrement, so holiness too has its offal. Oh, that's a funny one.
Okay.
That sounds more Buddhist than Jewish. Sometimes you get surprises when you just read a poem you haven't read before.
Yeah. Mhm. Like unintended pillows.
Well, here's a William Blake. I hardly ever read Blake. I've heard he was quite the poet. This is called Introduction. Hear the voice of the bard, who present, past, and future sees, whose ears have heard the holy word that walked among the ancient trees, calling the lapsed soul and the weeping in the evening dew, that might control the starry pole and fallen light renew. O earth, return, arise from out the dewy grass. Night is worn, and the morn rises from the slumberous mass. Turn away no more. Why wilt thou turn away? The starry floor, the watery shore, is given thee till the break of day.
Nice rhyming poem.
Yeah, well, he was in that time of rhyming. Well, maybe I'll read another William Blake. This one's called Jerusalem. And did those feet in ancient time walk upon England's mountains green? It was the holy Lamb of God on England's pleasant pastures seen. And did the continents divine shine forth upon our clouded hills? It was Jerusalem builded here among these dark satanic mills. Bring me my bow of burning gold. Bring me my arrows of desire. Bring me my spear, O clouds, unfold. Bring me my chariot of fire. I will not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land. Let's see. Well, since we're reading Old English, guys, how about a Gerald Manley Hopkins? the habit of perfection. Elected silence, sing to me, and beat upon my world ear. Pipe me, pipe me to pleasure, pastures still and be the music that I care to hear. Shape nothing, lips, be lovely dumb. It is the shut and curfew sent from there where all surrenders come, which only makes you eloquent. Be shelled eyes with double dark, and find the uncreated light, this ruck and reel which you remark, coils, keeps, and teases simple sight. Ooh. Palate, the hutch of tasty lust, desire not to be rinsed with wine. The can must be so sweet, the crust so fresh that comes in fasts divine. Nostrils, your careless breath that spend upon the stir and keep of pride. What relish shall the censers send among the sanctuary side? O feet of primrose hands, O feet that want the yield of plushy sward. Sward, like that. But you shall walk the golden street, and you unhouse and house the Lord. In poverty shall thou the bride, and now the marriage feast begun, and lily-covered clothes provide your spouse not labored at nor spun. Wow.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I just read. That was pretty dense. Maybe for a change of pace, I'll read a Kabir. The flute. Friend, wake up. Why do you go on sleeping? The night is over. Do you want to lose the day the same way? Other women who manage to get up early have already found an elephant or a jewel. So much was lost already while you slept, and that was so unnecessary. The one who loves you understood, but you did not. You forgot to make a place in your bed next to you. Instead, you spent your life playing. In your 20s, you did not grow because you did not know who your Lord was. Wake up, wake up. There's no one in your bed. He left you during the long night. Kabir says, the only woman awake is a woman who has heard the flute. Okay, it's almost getting to be merry time. What have I got in this one? Yeah, so Wendell Berry. Ripening. The longer we are together, the larger death grows around us. How many we know by now who are dead? We who were young now count the cost of having been, and yet, as we know the dead, we grow familiar with the world. We who were young and loved each other ignorantly now come to know each other in love, married by what we have done, as much as by what we intend. Our hair turns white with our ripening, as though to fly away in some coming wind, bearing the seed of what we know. It was bitter to learn that we come to death as we come to love, bitter to face the just and solving welcome. And I didn't mean to read this type, the death prepared. But that is bitter only to the ignorant who pray it will not happen. Having come the bitter way to better prayer, we have the sweetness of ripening. How sweet to know you by the signs of this world. All right. Yeah. Zoom is telling me I'm running out of time. Well, let's read some Mary Oliver. Maybe something a little more cheery.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think. Anyway. This doesn't sound very cheery either. Let's read The Turtle. That'll be. The turtle breaks from the blue-black skin of the water, dragging her shell with its mossy scutes across the shallows and through the rushes and over the mudflats, to the uprise, to the yellow sand, to dig with her ungainly feet and nest, and hunker there, spewing her white eggs down into the darkness. And you think of her patience, her fortitude, her determination to complete what she was born to do. And then you realize a greater thing. She doesn't consider what she was born to do. She's only filled with an old blind wish. It isn't even hers, but came to her in the rain or the soft wind, which is the gate through which her life keeps walking. She can't see herself apart from the rest of the world, or the world from what she must do. Every spring crawling up the high hill, luminous under the sand that has packed against her skin. She doesn't dream, she knows. She knows she is part of the pond she lives in. The tall trees are her children. The birds that swim above her are tied to her by an unbreakable string.
Hmm.
All right, then one more. Let's see. This one's called Sunrise. You can die for it, an idea or the world. People have done so brilliantly, letting their small bodies be bound to the. I can't get away from these poems today. Oh well. Maybe it gets better. Have done so brilliantly, letting the small bodies be bound to the stake, creating unforgettable fury of light. But this morning, climbing the familiar hills in the familiar fabric of dawn, I thought of China and India and Europe, and I thought how the sun blazes for everyone, just so joyfully as it rises, under the lashes of my own eyes, and I thought, I am so many. What is my name? What is the name of the deep breath I take over and over for all of us? Call it whatever you want. It is happiness. It is another one of the ways to enter fire.
It didn't turn out too bad.
Yeah, that was fine. Maybe I'll stop there. Well, it was nice
Thank you, John.
to have you three here tonight. Brenda, Glenda, and Ellen. So, what did we decide next week? We're gonna do
Thursday.
it. We're gonna do it on Thursday, the day after Christmas, not on Christmas.
Right.
So, okay, I'll send a note about that.
All
So
right.
anyway, have a lovely Christmas, both of you. I mean, all three of you.
You too.
And I'll see you next week. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.